Welcome to another session of business communication. In today's session, we shall study office circulars. I, Dr. S.R. Pagare from Faculty of Commerce, K.J. Somaiya College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Kopargaon, welcome you to this session of business communication. So let's begin with office circulars. Let's study what are office circulars. Whenever in an office, a matter is to be communicated to a large number of persons or departments or offices, members or branches of the same organization, the same is done through the circulars. The circular is in the form of a letter addressed to all offices, to all branches or to all departments and is drafted in such a way that the information is useful and understandable to all the concerned. That is why a circular is drafted very carefully so that it covers up all information and is correctly written or typed. It is written in third person and cyclostyled or printed depending upon the coverage. Office circulars are formal in nature for disseminating information to a large number of employees within the organization. Since it is an internal communication, therefore it has traditionally to be brief and business-like, formal and devoid of salutation. The circular is different than a circular letter in the sense that in the circular the name and address of addressee is not specific but is written in general, whereas in a circular letter the name and address of addressee may be specifically written on each copy. Also that a circular is used mostly for internal use of one organization only whereas circular letters are sent to persons outside the organization. Let's study on what occasions these letters are used. First, internal communication. Any important official message can be easily communicated to employees within the organization. Second, circulated to many at one time. Common information can be disseminated to all employees or branches at a single given time. Third, official information. Office circulars are formal and official in nature. Hence, the content is official in nature and has to be implemented immediately. Fourth, quick and speedy. Office circulars are quick to send. Hence, the content of the circular reaches many employees at the same time. Fifth, importance. All office circulars contain important matter of dissemination to the employees in the organization. Sixth, brief. Generally, all office circulars are brief but of prime importance to employees and organization. 7. Free from glitches. Office circular, though formal in nature, but they are devoid from salutation. 8. Utility. Office circulars are of great necessity when any information, instruction or guidelines are to be sent to all the departments or branches from the head office. 9. Reference. Any circular issued by the organization can be kept for future reference. So let's see the occasions when circular letters are drafted. First, inviting application from employees for promotion, test or interviews. Second, office circulars insisting punctuality of employees. Third, informing employees about change in working hours or lunch time. Fourth, office circulars inviting suggestions for offline manual or otherwise. Fifth, providing information of an event to be conducted in an organization for invitation and suggestions for the event. Sixth, announcing bonus schemes or any other finance related benefits. Seventh, an office circular to warn employees against strike. 8. To inform employees about the proper behavior and discipline in office premises. 9. To inform the lack of cleanliness at workplace due to negligence of employees. 10. A office circular informing old furniture or any other such item. 11. Office circular regarding closure of office for stipulated days. And 12. Office circular informing charity related messages for donation of blood or other donations. Now let's see what are the points to be considered while drafting of office circulars. First, brief and precise. Office circulars should be very brief and precise. The message sent should be short, but the message should be properly given. Second, clarity. Though office circulars has to be brief, but yet free from ambiguous language. They should be clear and not confusing. Third, persuasive. Office circulars should be persuasive but not pressurize the employees on any issue. Fourth, drafted in third person. Office circulars are written in third persons as they are not personal letters. Fifth, simple language. The language in office circular should be simple, specifically if it is addressed to lower level employees. The language should be straight, unambiguous, formal and simple. Sixth, no salutation. Office circulars are issued from head office to group of employees. Hence, salutations like dear sir or sir is not used. Seventh, official number should be numbered. All official circulars should be numbered for future reference, that is inward and outward numbers. 8. Candid. Office circulars should be characterized by openness, sincerity of expression. Hence, care should be taken that office circulars are candid in nature. 9. No false or misleading information. While drafting office circulars, care should be taken to the fact that office circulars, being formal correspondence, no false or misleading information should be provided. 10. All office circulars should be signed by issuing authority as it is a formal internal communication. And last, 11, that is complimentary clause. Though office circulars are formal but addressed to employees within the organization, office circulars do not contain any complimentary clause like yours sincerely or yours faithfully, etc. So in today's session, we have studied the meaning of office circulars. Thank you. In next session, we shall meet with some other topic of business communication.